Damien Blackwood slammed his hand against the conference table so hard that the glass water cups rattled violently. "Get out of my company," he roared. The entire boardroom froze. Sophia's trembling fingers tightened around the pregnancy test hidden inside her handbag. Her breathing became shallow as over 20 executives stared directly at her. "Damien," she whispered. "Please, let me explain." But Damien's eyes burned with fury. "You think you can trap me with a child?" he snapped. "How stupid do you think I am?" A few executives exchanged uncomfortable glances, while others secretly pulled out their phones beneath the table. Sophia's lips quivered. "I never asked you for money." Damien laughed coldly. "That's what women like you always say." The humiliation hit her like a truck. "Women like you." 3 words. 3 words that shattered everything she thought they had. If this story already makes your blood boil, hit the like button and subscribe, because what happens next completely destroys this billionaire CEO's life. Sophia swallowed hard while trying not to cry. "Damien, the baby is yours." Damien suddenly stood up from his chair. "And you're fired." The room exploded into whispers. Sophia stared at him in disbelief. "You're firing me because I'm pregnant?" "No," Damien said coldly. "I'm firing you because you're manipulative." Her eyes filled instantly. For months, Damien Blackwood had told her she was different. For months, he kissed her like he loved her. For months, he held her in his penthouse while promising she was the only person who truly understood him. And now, he was destroying her publicly like she meant nothing. Sophia's voice cracked. "You told me you loved me." Damien's expression darkened. "That was my mistake." The words stabbed straight into her chest. One female executive lowered her eyes in sympathy. Another man smirked quietly. Sophia felt completely humiliated. But Damien wasn't done. He pulled out his wallet, threw a black credit card onto the table, and slid it toward her. "Take it," he said, "and disappear." The room fell silent again. Sophia looked down at the card like it disgusted her. Then slowly, she removed the pregnancy test from her handbag and placed it on the table in front of everyone. "You know what hurts the most?" she whispered. Damien folded his arms. "What?" Sophia looked directly into his eyes. "I actually believed you were different from your father." For the first time, Damien's expression changed. His jaw tightened instantly. The entire room became tense. Nobody mentioned Damien's father. Ever. Sophia grabbed her bag and turned around before the tears finally escaped her eyes. As she reached the door, Damien's voice stopped her. "If you tell anyone about this relationship," he warned, "I'll make sure you never work in this city again." Sophia slowly looked back at him. Her voice shook. "You already destroyed me, Damien." Then she walked out. The second the elevator doors closed, her legs nearly gave out beneath her. Tears poured down her face uncontrollably. The receptionist stared awkwardly while pretending not to notice. Sophia pressed both hands against her stomach. "I'm sorry," she whispered to her unborn baby. "I'm so sorry." But she had no idea things were about to get even worse. By the next morning, gossip had spread through the entire company. Employees whispered whenever she passed. She slept with the CEO. She tried to baby trap him. I heard he paid her off. Sophia sat alone inside a small cafe across the street from the company building while reading cruel comments online. Someone had leaked the story, and the internet was eating her alive. A notification popped up on her phone. Unknown number. She hesitated before opening the message. "You should have known your place." Another message came seconds later. "Gold diggers always lose." Sophia immediately turned off her phone, shaking violently. Meanwhile, inside Blackwood Enterprises, Damien stood near the giant windows in his office overlooking the city. His best friend and legal advisor, Marcus, stared at him in disbelief. "You fired a pregnant woman publicly?" Marcus asked. Damien poured himself whiskey. "She's lying." Marcus frowned. "And if she isn't?" Damien's voice hardened instantly. She knew exactly what she was doing. Marcus sighed heavily. "You really think every woman wants your money?" Damien's eyes darkened. "My father trusted a woman once," he said coldly. "Look how that ended." Marcus rubbed his forehead. "This isn't your father's situation, Damien. You don't know that." Marcus stepped closer. "Did you love her?" Damien immediately looked away. And that silence answered everything. Later that night, Sophia returned to her tiny apartment only to find her landlord waiting outside. "You're 2 months late on rent," he said impatiently. "Please," Sophia begged softly. "Just give me a little more time." The landlord crossed his arms. "I saw you online." Didn't you date some billionaire? Sophia felt humiliated all over again. It's complicated. Well, your complications need to pay rent. He handed her a final eviction notice before walking away. Sophia entered her apartment and burst into tears the moment the door shut behind her. Everything was collapsing. Her job, her reputation, her home, and she was pregnant. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was her younger brother, Daniel. Sophia, he asked nervously. Mom's hospital called. Sophia's stomach dropped. What happened? They stopped her treatment. Sophia froze. What? They said the payments stopped coming. Tears instantly filled her eyes again. Okay, she whispered weakly. I'll handle it. But after the call ended, reality finally hit her. She had nothing left. No job, no money, no support, and the father of her child hated her. Across the city, Damien sat alone inside his penthouse staring at Sophia's employee profile on his laptop. Photo after photo. Every smile. Every memory. His hand tightened around the whiskey glass. Then suddenly, smash. The glass shattered against the wall. Damien ran both hands through his hair aggressively. Why did you do this? He muttered angrily. But deep down, part of him already feared the truth. The next morning, Sophia arrived at the hospital carrying flowers for her mother. But before she could enter the room, two nurses nearby started whispering. That's her. The billionaire CEO girl. She doesn't even look special. Sophia lowered her head in embarrassment and quickly entered the room. Her mother, Elena, looked pale but smiled weakly. You look tired, Elena said softly. Sophia forced a smile. I'm okay. Elena noticed the tears in her daughter's eyes immediately. No, she whispered. You're not. Sophia finally broke down beside the hospital bed. He fired me, Mom. Elena's face fell. What? Sophia cried harder. He fired me because I'm pregnant. Elena grabbed her hand tightly. That man is evil. Sophia shook her head slowly. No, she whispered painfully. That's the worst part. What? I still love him. If you're still watching, comment Team Sophia below because Damien Blackwood is about to learn that humiliating the wrong woman can destroy an empire. 3 days later, Sophia's entire world changed again. Because when she opened her apartment door that evening, a tall, elegant woman stood outside holding a designer handbag. Sophia frowned slightly. Can I help you? The woman removed her sunglasses slowly. I'm Evelyn Blackwood, she said calmly. Sophia's eyes widened instantly. Damien's mother. And the expression on Evelyn's face sent chills down Sophia's spine. I think we need to talk about your baby. Sophia's heartbeat pounded violently as Evelyn Blackwood stepped inside the tiny apartment. The billionaire family matriarch slowly looked around the cramped living room, the peeling paint, the old furniture, the unpaid bills stacked on the counter. Then she looked back at Sophia. So this is how my son left you? Sophia folded her arms defensively. You didn't come here to judge my apartment. Evelyn removed her gloves carefully. No, she replied quietly. I came because Damien is destroying himself. Sophia laughed bitterly. He already destroyed me first. Evelyn noticed the dark circles beneath Sophia's eyes. The exhaustion, the fear, the pain, and for a brief second, guilt crossed her face. Sit down, Evelyn said softly. Sophia hesitated before sitting across from her. For several awkward seconds, neither woman spoke. Then Evelyn finally broke the silence. Damien's father ruined him. Sophia frowned slightly. What does that have to do with me? Everything. Evelyn leaned back slowly. 20 years ago, Damien's father discovered his business partner had an affair with his wife. The child she gave birth to wasn't his. Sophia listened carefully. After that scandal, Richard Blackwood became obsessed with betrayal. He taught Damien that love was weakness and women only cared about money. Sophia's eyes filled with anger again. So Damien humiliates women because his father got cheated on? No, Evelyn said sharply. Damien humiliates women because he's terrified of becoming his father. Sophia looked away. He should have thought about that before destroying my life. Evelyn nodded slowly. You're right. That response surprised Sophia. Then Evelyn reached into her handbag and pulled out a folder. I hired a private investigator. Sophia stiffened. What? I wanted to know who you really were. Sophia's face hardened instantly. So you think I'm a liar too? No, Evelyn replied calmly. That's the problem. Sophia blinked. What do you mean? Evelyn opened the folder. Inside were photographs. Sophia working overtime. Sophia paying hospital bills. Sophia helping her younger brother. Sophia leaving food banks with groceries. Evelyn looked directly into her eyes. You were struggling long before Damien entered your life. Sophia felt emotional instantly. I never wanted his money. I know. Tears slowly filled Sophia's eyes again. Evelyn continued softly. And that's exactly why Damien is about to regret everything. Meanwhile, across town, Damien stormed into Marcus's office furiously. You told my mother? He snapped. Marcus stood up immediately. She already suspected something. Damien slammed both hands onto the desk. She went to see Sophia? And maybe that's a good thing. Damien's jaw tightened. You think humiliating me is helping? Marcus stared at him coldly. No. I think humiliating a pregnant woman publicly makes you look like a monster. Damien turned away angrily. She manipulated me. Marcus scoffed. Do you even hear yourself anymore? Damien's silence filled the room. Marcus stepped closer. You loved her. Damien clenched his fists. Love makes people stupid. Marcus shook his head slowly. No, Damien. Fear makes people stupid. That sentence hit harder than Damien expected. Later that night, Damien sat alone inside his penthouse staring at old photos on his phone. Sophia laughing during dinner. Sophia asleep beside him. Sophia smiling while holding coffee in the office. His chest tightened painfully. Then his phone buzzed. Mother calling. Damien answered immediately. What? Evelyn's voice was ice cold. You embarrassed this family. Damien scoffed. She's lying. No. Evelyn replied sharply. You're lying to yourself. Damien's expression darkened. She wants money. She refused mine. That made Damien freeze. What? I offered financial help. Evelyn continued. She refused every dollar. Silence. Then Damien whispered quietly. What? Evelyn's voice softened slightly. She still defends you even after what you did. Damien suddenly felt sick. Because deep down, he knew his mother never lied. The next morning, Sophia walked into the hospital for another pregnancy checkup. But the moment she entered, reporters surrounded her aggressively. Miss Carter, is the billionaire CEO refusing responsibility? Did you sleep with Damien for money? Are you suing Blackwood Enterprises? Sophia panicked instantly. Please move. Cameras flashed everywhere. Questions attacked her nonstop. Suddenly, enough! A deep, angry voice echoed across the hallway. Everyone turned. Damien Blackwood. The reporters instantly became louder. Mr. Blackwood, is the baby yours? Damien's eyes locked onto Sophia's terrified face. And for the first time since firing her, he truly saw the damage he caused. Sophia looked exhausted. Broken. Alone. Damien stepped in front of her protectively. No more questions, he said coldly. A reporter shouted. Did she trap you? Damien's expression turned deadly. No, he snapped. I made mistakes. Sophia stared at him in shock. The reporters exploded with questions again. But Damien ignored them. Instead, he gently looked at Sophia. Are you okay? Sophia immediately stepped back. Don't pretend you care now. Her voice cracked painfully. Damien looked devastated. Sophia, you destroyed my life. People in the hallway stopped walking just to watch. Sophia's tears spilled uncontrollably. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Damien lowered his voice. I know. No, Sophia cried. You don't. She pointed at the reporters. You did this. Damien couldn't even defend himself. Because she was right. Then suddenly, Sophia grabbed her stomach in pain. Damien's eyes widened instantly. Sophia? She gasped sharply again. And panic spread across Damien's face immediately. Call a doctor, he shouted. Within seconds, nurses rushed toward her. Damien caught Sophia before she collapsed completely. Stay with me, he whispered desperately. Sophia weakly pushed against his chest. Don't touch me. But Damien refused to let go. Hours later, Damien sat outside her hospital room looking completely destroyed. Marcus arrived shortly after. How is she? Damien rubbed his face tiredly. Stress complications. Marcus exhaled heavily. Damien. I know. Damien interrupted quietly. For once, there was no arrogance in his voice. Only guilt. Then Evelyn arrived holding an envelope. Damien looked up slowly. What's that? Evelyn's expression was unreadable. The DNA results. Damien's chest tightened instantly. Marcus looked nervous. Evelyn handed the envelope directly to Damien. Open it. Damien hesitated for several seconds before finally tearing it open. His eyes scanned the document. Then suddenly, All color disappeared from his face. 99.99% probability. He was the father. Marcus stared at him carefully. Damien. But Damien couldn't speak. His breathing became uneven. Because every horrible thing Sophia said was true. Every insult. Every tear. Every humiliation. He did all of it to the mother of his child. Evelyn's voice cut through the silence. You became exactly like your father. Damien closed his eyes painfully. Then Evelyn dropped one final bombshell. The board already knows. Damien looked up sharply. What? And so does the media. His face went pale instantly. You leaked this. I leaked the truth. Within hours, the internet exploded. The billionaire CEO who fired his pregnant girlfriend. Damien Blackwood exposed. Blackwood Enterprises facing massive backlash. Videos of Sophia crying outside the boardroom went viral everywhere. Former employees began exposing toxic behavior inside the company. Sponsors started pulling out. Stock prices crashed violently. And for the first time in his life, Damien Blackwood lost control. 3 days later, he quietly entered Sophia's hospital room holding flowers. Sophia looked at him coldly. What do you want? Damien stood there silently for several seconds before speaking. I was wrong. Sophia laughed bitterly. That's it. Damien swallowed hard. I thought you were lying. And that gave you the right to destroy me? No. Sophia looked away emotionally. Damien stepped closer carefully. When my father was betrayed, he taught me trust makes people weak. Sophia's eyes filled with tears again. So you punished me for someone else's sins. Damien lowered his head. Yes. Silence filled the room. Then Sophia whispered softly. You broke my heart. That sentence shattered him more than the media ever could. Damien slowly sat beside her hospital bed. I know you probably hate me. Sophia interrupted immediately. I don't hate you. Damien looked surprised. Sophia wiped her tears slowly. That's the problem. Damien stared at her helplessly. Then suddenly, Sophia's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She frowned before opening the message. But the second she read it, her entire expression changed. Damien noticed instantly. What happened? Sophia looked terrified. The message only contained one sentence. You still don't know what Damien's father did to your real father. Sophia slowly raised her eyes toward Damien, and her voice trembled. What does this mean? Damien looked genuinely confused. But deep down, he already feared the answer. If you don't like and subscribe, you might not see us again.